Well, we had a lot of rain, but I've seen rain before, so I said, no problem. Well, my sister called that morning and said, hey, you been watching the news? I said, yeah, I seen a lot of rain. She said, well, you think we need to come and get you? No problem, we can deal with this. Well, went back to sleep. When I woke up, I looked out the back window, and the water had rose up pretty high. By that time, a friend of mine knocked on the door and said, was everything all right? And I'm like, yeah, man, everything good, man. The water just getting high. So it was a red car stranded on the bridge, and he was like, man, we need to try to help them get across. So I went out there. It was a lady from Eastover and her daughter, never seen them before. We helped the lady get across first, and then her granddaughter. We had a rope tied to Eric to BJ, and they was helping to get the lady across. They got her across, and when Eric was helping BJ across, he stepped in a manhole. The manhole cover had been blown off, and he hit the, fell out in the water, and he could feel the current under, in the water, from the water under the bridge. So we got him out. They had to come and sit in my house for like 3 hours, and we tried to get a ride there, but we couldn't. So we had to get them to higher ground, which is at the top of Cumberland Street, to the top of the neighborhood. And the National Guard came, and they were short-handed, and we went from door to door helping people get off the street, because they was blocked in on one side from the bridge, and the other end was the lower part of the street. So we helped people get off the street. When it was time to get my mother out of the house, she didn't want to get in the boat, so I had to carry her. So I explained to the National Guard, man, it's okay, I got her. So what we did was I picked my mom up and walked out the house. We had to go out sideways because the water was so, going so fast. And we walked through a path, came up on Fleetwood Drive, all the way up to Commerce Street, and had a group of women following to get them to safety, because the whole street was underwater. It just happened like that, man, and we stayed in the water for 5 hours. We stayed in the water for 5 whole hours in the cold water, and made sure everyone was off the street. It was high in a lot of places. It was in the backyard where we live, it was up to my chest, and in the front yard it was like waist high, and it was like that for the majority of the time. You couldn't walk straight, you had to walk sideways because the water was rushing so fast. And the street that we live on is mostly elderly people, and we made sure wheelchairs and all, we made sure everyone got off the street, and once they was off to safety, then everything was okay. And it was lucky that they were there in our neighborhood. They could have been somewhere where nobody didn't want to help them, but they picked the right neighborhood and the right street. Some good people on the street. We got good neighbors and come together and help each other. I don't see myself as a hero. I'm gonna help you. We could have been mad yesterday, but that rain and all that water, you can't do nothing but help, because I would want someone to help my mother, or help someone in my family, or whoever it was. I would help them, because I know that I have a mother, and I have a sister, and I have a brother that may need help one day. So that's the way I return it. If I had to do it all over again, I'd do nothing different, because it was worth it. It was worth it. Everybody came out with smiles. We might have been wet, but we were alive and we were safe.